This is not good. This is not ideal. This is rough. We should have seen the writing on the wall with the Xbox Series S 6-year-old hardware going from $300 all the way to $500. That's insane. That's ridiculous. 6-year-old hardware. In any other situation, we would have had a new console generation in that time. The price on the Series S, hypothetically, should be around the $200 mark, maybe even less than that. But no, we have stuff like this that has just been ruining gaming as an industry, and I don't even know. I'm kind of in shock today, quite frankly. I'm kind of shocked at what this is gonna become 2030. We're in for a rough ride. And I do want to just ask the question, where do we go from here? Hardware is getting more and more expensive. That's not only RAM or graphics cards, but storage. And games are only getting bigger and bigger. And now starting in 2028, according to Sony, we can't even store the games on discs. We have to just store it on our internal hardware. So what, I can store like Call of Duty and like 2 other games? Are you serious? This aggravates me a lot, and it's aggravated a lot of people. I've never seen so much backlash towards a company, just period, for something like this. But PlayStation, important updates. In the same tweet, they not only say that they are getting rid of physical media for their platform entirely, but they are also shutting down a digital storefront. Not one digital storefront, 2 digital storefronts, the Vita store and the PS3 store. 44 million views on this at the time of recording. It's the stereotypical, you will own nothing and enjoy it. You know what I mean? This is not having good reception at all. Some of the few people defending it are just getting absolutely clowned on. I personally don't care that there aren't going to be any more physical discs for PlayStation. I haven't bought a hard copy of a game in 10 years. I played a game, I enjoy it, that's it. I never understood the outrage. I don't understand why people are mad, and it's showing price comparisons, which is totally fair, because with everything getting more expensive, physical is honestly the cheaper way to go. And just additionally, why are you so content on losing the ability to choose that? You have the ability to choose digital formats, but they are actively taking away your choice. You're not going to have a choice to own a game physically anymore. That might work for you, but it doesn't work for everyone. Not everyone wants to own stuff digitally. I shouldn't even say owning it. I honestly, it's just you're renting a license for a long period of time is all you're doing, which is crazy, because wasn't digital initially pitched to be like the cheaper alternative? Because they don't have to pay to manufacture the discs or the case or to ship it out. On paper, it's cheaper. But consistently, we're seeing stuff like this where prices are near double what they are for physical games. It's one of the most anti-consumer things I have ever seen. Someone makes that same point, then stop selling digital games for the same price as physical ones too. You're removing the printing, box, shipping prices from the equation completely, so I shouldn't be paying $70 for digital games anymore. True. Sony doesn't care. Sony really does not care. Their recent console, it was sold without a disc drive to start, but then they decided to sell an $80 attachment for it that you can then get to put in your PlayStation. Having physical media to them is a luxury that they don't want to even invest in at this point. Xbox has taken a different direction here. I'm not honestly sure how to feel about this at the moment. In the past, Xbox has been very digital forward, right? And in my personal Walmart, there are no more physical games in stores. It's just the codes and controllers and consoles, no more games. Well, apparently they're wanting to find a way to introduce a way that you can convert your physical games into digital, which is a step further than Sony is willing to take right now. Microsoft is testing a new disc to digital feature for Xbox that lets players convert eligible physical Xbox games into digital licenses tied to their Microsoft account. The feature is currently being tested internally by Xbox employees. Here's how it reportedly works. Insert a compatible Xbox One or Xbox Series X disc game into your console, install and launch the game while signed into your Microsoft account. Microsoft grants a digital entitlement link to both your account and that specific disc. Once converted, you can play the digital version without the disc inserted. If your game supports Xbox Cloud Gaming, you can stream it anywhere with an eligible Game Pass subscription. If it's an Xbox Play Anywhere title, you can also gain access on Windows PCs and supported handheld. The digital licenses remain tied to ownership of physical discs. If you lend or sell the disc, the digital entitlement reportedly transfers with it, preventing people from converting a game then selling it while keeping a permanent digital copy. Interesting. It sounds very similar to the Nintendo game keycard system. I guess the only difference is you don't have to insert the game into the console. I think the Play Anywhere thing is pretty decent. Being able to convert your Xbox games into PC titles, that's not bad. However, overall, I don't think it's good. I don't, because I feel like the implication there is, well, there goes physical for Xbox as well. It says it works currently on Xbox One and Series games. Well, what about the 360? What about the OG Xbox? Those are all playable on the Series X. There's full backwards compatibility between generations for most games. Not all the games necessarily. But what about those? What are we including those as well? I feel like Xbox has the once in a generation opportunity to make a power play back into the console market. If they kept physical discs, if they kept physical console discs, it would be a power move, an insane power move against PlayStation. And I say that because just think, they will be one of the only physical consoles on the market that are still in discs. A big portion of how games sell in person physically are the space that it takes up on the shelves in stores. You're able to display the box art and stuff. If PlayStation doesn't even have a leg in that market, that's all the more space Xbox will have to do this advertising there. Not to mention the opportunity to grab so much of the PlayStation player base right now who care about physical media, who care about preserving and owning their games. You are going to grab every single one of them. Xbox has the opportunity to come back after a generational loss into the market and be the fan favorite again. They will be back on their Xbox 360 days, honestly. If they were to do that, this would put them back on track to be a fan favorite, to be the favorite in the market, which isn't something that they can have said for the last, what, 15 years? When did the Xbox One come out? This is all assuming that Xbox would actually be consumer first going forward. I would argue they haven't been that way since the Xbox 360 days, honestly. Overall, this just marks an awful downward trend for the industry as a whole. I would say go get a PC because that would be a no-brainer at this point. You have no reason to own a full digital console when you have the whole PC library to yourself at your fingertips. You can't go get one now. RAM prices are so absurdly ridiculous that I can only recommend that you buy secondhand, like off a marketplace or something like that. That's what I did with my computer, and it's been great. But I know a lot of people aren't necessarily comfortable doing that, and that leads to a lot of issues sometimes. The only company that I am noticing is slightly different. They're still going on this trend, right, with game keycards, but Nintendo, overall, still, their console just came out and it's still physical. Greatly appreciate that. I don't see them necessarily changing that. If things get worse off for the next 6 years than what they are now, I can't imagine what that looks like. But if they get to the point where the Switch 2 is out of date and they're looking to build a new console, I could maybe see them still doing physical. Honestly, they've never followed the trends of these other companies. They've never done a fully digital console or even hinted towards that. Every single one of their consoles has had some kind of physical media, and I think that's fantastic. I could see them being the only company that wants to stick with that, quite frankly, but we'll just have to see. Anyways, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. I had to yap about this. Very concerning to me, and I hope you guys feel the same. I hope something changes, but we'll see. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hopefully things get better. I'm out.